Every time we write, we do so with a goal in mind. There is always something specific we hope to achieve each time we pick up a pen or start to type on a device, since nobody starts to write without a purpose. It is the goal or objective of our writing that then determines the approach we choose to employ in conveying our ideas, whether to inform, to persuade, to entertain, and so on. This brings us to the understanding of the concept of thesis statement. What is a thesis statement? A thesis statement is a proposition that contains the goal of any form of writing. It sums up the argument of any piece of writing in a single sentence, and many people look out for the thesis statement in a writing to determine what the writing is all about. Thesis statements are important sentences that form the main topic of a writing, appearing at the end of an introductory paragraph or an introduction. To some individuals, a thesis statement serves as a guide into the contents of a piece of writing, which determines its readworthiness to the individual. A thesis statement guides readers on what to expect from any written work, as well as the stance or position of a writer regarding a particular topic. It goes without saying that a thesis statement expresses the position of a writer on a specific topic of concern, usually a controversial topic, and so this helps the reader to understand the angle from which a writer tackles a topic or debate. What is more, a thesis statement lays the foundation for the body paragraph of a piece of writing. This is because it determines the content of their body paragraph of a writing. The body paragraph serves the purpose of expounding on the proposition of a thesis statement, and so the thesis statement plays a crucial role in the formation of the contents of a body paragraph. Body paragraphs provide a clearer understanding of a thesis statement, as well as expand its views and the basis of its proposition, with a view to influencing the opinion of the reader depending on the goal of the writer. Key components of a thesis statement. An effective thesis statement is made up of the following elements in no particular order. Subject: a thesis statement must have a suitable preoccupation. What is your writing about? This should be clearly stated in your thesis statement. Argument: what is your take on the topic? What concept are you arguing in favor of or trying to debase? Your thesis statement must also reflect your position or stance regarding your topic. Relevance: your thesis statement must also contain the relevance of your argument. What is the significance of your argument to the reader? This must be carefully considered in writing your thesis statement. Example of a thesis statement: climate change is primarily caused by human activities, including deforestation and the burning of fossil fuels, and immediate action is needed to mitigate its catastrophic effects. Why is a thesis statement important? Guidance: an effective thesis statement is necessary for guiding your readers through your writing. This is because it gives your reader a better understanding of what your argument is, and whether or not they would be interested enough to continue reading it. Scope determination: an effective thesis statement makes clear to the reader what the objective or goal of your writing is. This is crucial because a piece of writing without a thesis statement will be perceived as lacking direction, and such would lose its credibility. Organization: an effective thesis statement ensures that your ideas are presented in a logical and united manner. It keeps your writing focused and ensures the contents of your body paragraph contribute to expounding on the proposition of your thesis statement. How to write an effective thesis statement. There are a number of steps to follow in crafting an effective thesis statement to ensure coherence and clarity of your proposition. They include, but are not limited to: start with a question. Starting with a question will help you ponder on the topic you are about to tackle, in order to extract a proposition you would like to support. For example, let's say you're tasked with writing a paper on the impact of social media on mental health. You might start by asking, how does social media usage affect mental health? This will guide you in picking a stance on how you intend to address the topic. If you were not tasked with writing a particular topic, you can easily pick a topic of interest and formulate a question based on the topic. Ensure that the question is relevant and logical, as well as capable of forming an argument from which you can take a stance. Answer the question. The next step is to go ahead and answer the question. Whatever becomes the answer to your research question then forms your thesis statement. Social media negatively affects mental health by contributing to anxiety, depression, and loneliness, especially among teenagers. This is one out of a myriad of ways to answer the question presented in step 1. As soon as you come up with an answer to your research question, you can then proceed to the next step. Be specific. At this point, you must endeavor to avoid being too broad or vague in your thesis statement. Being specific helps your readers to come to an understanding of what the rest of your writing entails, and the angle from which you would be handling the topic. For example, social media has a big impact on mental health is too broad. A better version would be, excessive use of social media leads to higher rates of anxiety and depression, particularly among teens, due to unrealistic comparisons and cyberbullying. Take a stance. Needless to say, you must take a stance. This is only possible when your thesis statement is one that is debatable rather than a simple presentation of facts. For instance, saying, social media is widely used is not a thesis statement because it's a fact that can't be disputed. Instead, your thesis should take a clear position, such as, while social media platforms offer benefits in terms of connectivity, their negative impact on mental health far outweighs these advantages, particularly among vulnerable users like adolescents. Justify your stance. Here, you must convince your readers on why you have chosen the stance you aim to defend in the foregoing sections of your work. This can be achieved by stressing the significance of your argument to your readers or the world at large. For instance, social media exacerbates mental health issues among teens because it encourages unhealthy comparisons, fosters isolation, and makes cyberbullying easier. Characteristics of an effective thesis statement. To be effective, your thesis statement should have these key characteristics. Clarity. You must be economical in your use of words, concise, and ensure that your proposition or thesis statement is presented in a logical manner that clearly expresses your stance on the topic. Precise. In other words, your thesis statement must be specific and not broad so that your readers can easily pinpoint the main aim of your writing and your argument. Arguability. Your thesis statement should be debatable and not just a presentation of fact. This is why most thesis statements center on controversial topics. Relevance. Make sure your thesis statement directly answers the question or addresses the topic of your paper. The importance of writing an effective thesis statement cannot be overemphasized. This is because a thesis statement forms the backbone of any form of academic writing, since the body paragraphs serve the purpose of expounding on it, while the conclusion reinforces its proposition. A thesis statement is the main goal of an academic writing. Crafting an effective thesis statement requires asking a question, answering the question, being clear, taking a stance and justifying the stance. It is important that your academic writing has an effective thesis statement, as this serves as a guide for your readers, as well as determine the readworthiness of your work. See you soon.